Okay, hi guys. Welcome to Tuesday night meditation. Um, I'd like to start tonight by looking at a few pictures. These are just examples of uh, some of the people that some people find deeply inspiring. I don't know if you've ever had the experience of looking at a photograph or a painting or being around in person someone who just they don't necessarily have to do or say anything. You just look at them, you look at their eyes, and you kind of get, ah, there it is. That's what it looks like. There's the somehow we have the sense of there's the wisdom and the goodness, whatever you call that, awakening, enlightenment, grace. Um, some people, you just feel that you see it right in their eyes. You can almost taste it. You get a sometimes better than any long-winded explanations like the ones I'm prone to to give. You just, oh, you look, there it is. So here's one we've talked about before. Sri Ramana Maharshi, great awakened sage of the mid 20th century. This is one we've talked about recently. This is famous statue of Padma-Sambhava, also known as Guru Rinpoche, the first Lama to bring the Dharma teachings from India to Tibet. This is a statue of him in Samye Monastery, the first Buddhist monastery in Tibet, which he named this statue Looks Like Me, because it looked like him. There's Jesus. Jesus, this is a very faded picture. I've had this picture for decades. I'm fond of it, but it's gotten faded in the sun. That's my favorite kind of image of Jesus, Jesus of the Sacred Heart. Pulling his cloak open, and there's his heart chakra, his heart center. See if I can get this in focus. Just radiating beams of love. Some people will be very inspired by pictures of the Blessed Virgin. This is, some of you know, Neem Karoli Baba, aka Maharaji. Became famous as Ram Dasa's guru, the guru of a lot of other people today. So I'd like to start tonight by each of us just think of someone, might be one of those people, one of those faces I just showed, might be someone else, some different saint or sage or guru, or might be your grandmom, or someone who for you, for at least one moment, has just embodied that love, that wisdom. Just pick one for now. And if you can't think of one, make one up. You can take one from fiction. Maybe it's Yoda. Maybe it's Mr. Mr. Rogers is not fictional. And Mr. Rogers was that for a lot of people. No joke. So otherwise, make one up. Let's just close our eyes. And you might have an image in your mind of that person who embodies the light, embodies the boundless love and the boundless wisdom and compassion that we all aspire to grow into. And that's why we're here. But don't work at trying to, perfect a visualization. That's not important. What's important is just to get a sense of the essence. What is it that's behind those eyes? And just let yourself sort of melt into that. And in fact, as you continue to melt into that, any outward image that you have of the person, you may find tends to melt away as well. Like kind of unwrapping the candy bar to get to the really good stuff on the inside. Just letting yourself gently melt into that light, that enlightenment, that grace, that radiates through this person. And let any remaining shreds of their individuality melt into it as well. So that that light, that radiance, that boundlessness is all that remains. No I, no you, no self or other. Just this luminous light of omnidirectional love. Pervading the whole universe. And not separate from us, not other than us. Just bask in that. Marinate in that. Lose your so-called self. Lose any shreds of your own individuality in that light. Just rest in that light. That's simple. Rest as that light. Any time that you find yourself engaged in something else, something smaller, something more dense, just relax your grip on it. Relax back into this light, melt back into this light. That's all. And take a few minutes before slowly opening the eyes. Okay, how are we doing? Any comments or questions? Any comments on the way we entered the meditation tonight? Yeah, Chris?
I actually found it to be really easy to picture anybody's eyes and then seeing the gentleness in it. I don't know if that's like good for me. I could see the beauty in everyone, but there's actually, it was kind of, I was finding that like it wasn't a problem to pick a person as much as it was just to like look deep into the good or the gentle in the person.
Yes, yes, good for you. um, yeah. Um, no, you went straight to the advanced version. Um, the this is a style of practice. I mean, it's a very simplified version, but there's very elaborate kinds of practices like this in Tibetan tradition. And you start with someone who is really easy to see as the embodiment of all love and light. Typically, it would be your lama or your mother, um, and then you work your way through people that you think of as just neutral, just the neighbor around the corner, and ultimately you get to like the just ultimately you get to Hitler and like that. So yeah, but yeah, that's the so yeah, you were getting going right to the point, which is if you're really looking, you're going to see everyone radiates that light. Everyone is that light. So yeah, and then and then the next advanced step is to start to allow yourself to see that walking around the other 23 and a half hours of the day, without pushing it. And some people make it very, very hard. Right. uh, but just when you have a feel you have some space for that, to see. Oh, let's see about opening to this. At the end of the Gospels, I think it's right near the end when Jesus is about to go back to heaven and leave the the apostles to work it out themselves. And the words that he leaves them with is love one another as I have loved you. All right. Um, find that with everyone. And it's often misunderstood. And we can see it's easy to misunderstand as like a thing that you try to do. That's a thing that you do in some superficial, okay, I'm going to love everybody. I really want to rip their lungs out, but I'm gonna love them. Um, but it has to be realer than that. That problem arises when we're trying to do it all on a superficial level of emotions. Um, but when we know how to slip into this deeper level, to slip back into beingness, it's a whole different thing. Then it becomes very natural because the beingness is the love. Love is not an emotion that we feel for certain people. It can seem that way um, provisionally, but the deeper we look into it, and this is the really big news, the really good news. The deeper we look into it, the more we realize, oh, um, love is the beingness. Love is the beingness. That is the beingness of all beings, as you were seeing, Chris, and it's the beingness of all creation, of everything in the universe, and everything, no matter how awful some events are on the level of events, no matter how awful the behavior of some people is. Um, I think of it sometimes as like, I think of all of creation as like an elaborate origami. You've got this perfect, pure white piece of paper, which is flawless, perfect, boundless being. And then it gets folded up into all these different ways. And sometimes it gets folded into a beautiful lotus flower, and sometimes it gets folded into a scary dragon. It gets folded in, and all this stuff on the level of their forms, they have their reality. And we have to deal with them on that level. But if we can also get down to the level of what essentially are they, they're all the same. They're all that same piece of paper. They never cease to be that. They can completely lose track of it, and we can completely lose track of the fact that that's what they are, but that's what they are.